But this is episode 7. Got myself a great audience here who's going to help me cheer. And so you know the way this works. I spin the wheel 3 times. Whatever ingredients it lands on, I must use those ingredients. I can certainly use whatever else is on the table, but I must use those 3. So, all right, here we go. Spin that BravoPB wheel. And what we got? Chard. Okay. Good. Avocado?
Yeah, avocado.
Almonds, actually.
Figs.
Figs? Judy! So, I had somebody help me like pick ingredients because I was trying to write them all, and then she's like, figs, figs. So, blame Judy. And so, not only is it figs, but it's dried figs. Oh, so we'll figure something out. So here's my ingredients: chard, stalks, avocado, and dried figs. Let's see what we can come up with. Oh my goodness. Okay, I've said this multiple times. It always happens. I'm waiting for that one time when it's like, oh, it's easy, you know, boom, boom, boom. You know, I know exactly what to do. But I always have to say this because the wheel always like comes up with this weird combinations. So if you're ever at home feeling like this, like what the hell do I do with this? And you're almost, paralyzed maybe, or like, I have no idea, I'm just gonna go out and buy something. Just break it down into simple chunks, okay? I have something here that's colorful and salty. Okay, chard is going to provide some salt to whatever this is. I have something creamy, green, and not heavy, but like satisfying, filling, because it's got that natural fat. And then this is nothing but sweet, okay? Sweet and salty will always go together somehow. Okay, now we just got to figure it out. So if you think of it in those terms, it makes it easier. Easier. Butternut squash. We'll use onions and garlic as always. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm just gonna play off of that sweet and salty kind of thing. So I'm gonna make like a like a I think what I'm gonna do is make a like a soup duo. Okay, so 2 different soups within the same dish. And somehow the figs are gonna sneak in there. Okay, so onions and garlic always gives me a depth of flavor to what it is that I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this guy on. Again, I'm thinking of a soup duo type of thing. And so, while that heats up, I don't think I'm going to be using this guy today. I'm going to take a chunk of the butternut squash here. Peel this bad boy. So the butternut squash, I'm going to do here with the Swiss chard. That's going to be that's going to be half of the soup here. The other half is going to be the avocado. So the avocado will have this green sort of color, and then the Swiss chard and the butternut squash will be this orangey red color. Okay.
So are you thinking like a sweet parfait?
Not a parfait. You'll see it when I plate it.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't do a parfait because I don't, I would need like, champagne sort of glasses kind of a thing. So some onion and garlic in this one, as well as.
Is there anything in the pot?
No, dry.
Dry.
Dry. So this is what I call my dry sauteing. So you saw that I turned it on, preheated it, so when the stuff lands in there, it does that instant. Okay, and then let's not forget the chard here. Say again? The stalks, yeah, the stalks of the Swiss chard is what I'm using. Okay, and so now what I'm trying to do is simply just evaporate, the moisture out of the butternut squash and the chard in order to concentrate the flavor. Okay, so this is really just a sweet and salty effect that I have going on. Okay, all right, I have to be mindful of the fact that the figs are hard. I am. I'm thinking that the figs might end up being sort of my garnish kind of a thing. But I do want to get some flavor into them, and I also want to soften them up. I'm going to drop them in there. Keep an eye on my butternut squash thing going on here. I'm going to take a tangerine and I'm going to squeeze it into the figs in order to get them to soak and soften up. And hopefully I'm going to keep you entertained long enough for them to do that. All right, so we'll set those off to the side. You can now see how this is getting some color in here. I'll show you guys as well. Okay, so it's got some nice caramelization going. You probably can't smell the sweetness of the butternut squash, but you can certainly smell the onions and the garlic, right? Yeah. Okay. Next, now I'm starting to think, okay, I got my orange sort of taken care of. Now let's do the green. For the green onions, I'm thinking arugula. So the arugula will bring in a bit of bitter aspect to the soup. Okay. All right. So we're getting pretty close. What kind of fish does bitter complement? Anything that isn't bitter. So the trick about flavors is to make sure you always have something that's different. Okay. Bitter will go with sweets, bitter will go with sour, bitter will go with salty. Okay. But if you have bitter with bitter, it's an automatic overwhelm, and then your brain sort of shuts off and decides to not let you taste it anymore. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and add my broth to my soup here. Second pot, second soup. We will do onions, garlic. Then we'll do the broth. Throw the greens in there. This one will actually go much faster. I might even do a hint of spinach in there as well. Don't worry, this will not take, forever. Okay.
So you're really focusing on color.
Yeah, this one, it's, normally I would focus on flavor, okay? But since I know that I got a salty and I got a sweet thing going on, I've already taken care of the flavor. Now I really want that color to pop. Okay, so that is the driving force right now. And once you know it, I actually do have a couple of these that are green, so they will go in. Charred. I had a couple of these charred stems that were white. So those go in. Go ahead and split my avocado.
Is most of the salt content found in the stock of the chard?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think it is, and I don't know the science behind it, but I do think that there is more salt in the stalks than there is in the leaves. But I wouldn't be able to tell you like a percentage necessarily. Okay, so far we have some onions, garlic, and chard. Now, interestingly enough, for this one, I don't want a lot of color, okay? Because I want this to be bright and green. The other one I could deal with some color being in there, because I know that that butternut squash is gonna make that half that soup bright orange no matter what. But if I start browning this one up, then my bright green starts to get inched towards the brown, and I don't want that. So, very quickly, I'm gonna add all my greens here. The other thing is that this one should not cook very long either, because then the spinach and the arugula will also start to turn color, okay? So, for this one, I'm gonna add the broth in. The moment it comes to a simmer, done. My last item, so now I'm envisioning this beautiful bright orange and green soup with the nice dark thick slices in the center, and I'm thinking I'd like to get something else in there as well. So now I'm feeling pretty confident on this one. But now I'm thinking, now that I got the flavors, now I got the colors, now I want to give it that last, step up. So it just so happens that I have a few pine nuts in here. So I'm gonna do just a couple of toasted pine nuts over the top. Okay, so now I'm just heating this pan here just so that I can toast the pine nuts, nothing else. And then I'm going to use the residual heat here so that I can drop that avocado. Got pine nuts. Make some crunchies. All right. So we're getting pretty close here. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this bad boy.
The avocado is your fat.
The avocado is the fat in there. That's going to be my thickener for this particular half of the soup. So you got this really nice bright and green kind of going on, but it's a little bit on the watery side. But if you're not, I have another half. Now, one of the reasons I'm concerned about the thickness of it is because your soups need to be at the same thickness level once they merge onto the plate. Otherwise, it doesn't work. One of them blends into the other, okay? So they have to sort of push each other at the same level of strength, so to speak. Checking for flavor now. Very good. The avocado actually does come through, and one of the big reason for that is because I threw it sort of at the end, so it was raw versus everything else being cooked. So I am happy with that one. Yes, sir.
Do some people consider it sacrilegious to cook avocado? And is there any sense to that?
Some people would, yeah. Every now and then, you know, you sort of step outside the boundaries, and it's okay. You know, who's to say that it's morally wrong to cook an avocado, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I taste my butternut side. Very good. Now here is the fun part. I'm gonna do this twice. Everybody's standing. Oh, I love this. So I wish you could see this on camera. What happened is that everybody in the audience stood up to see what I was about to do, which is now making me nervous. Okay, so the idea is that you have to sort of slowly pour at the same rate. So your right hand and your left hand have to go. Hang on, now you guys made me nervous.
You need a little more room there.
No, what I need is I need this to be closer to me. Okay, pretty sure the camera can still see that. We'll get rid of that. I don't want to. Okay. I'm pretty sure I can do it now. You can certainly do this with ladles if you want. I just happen to have a couple things here that'll pour. Come on, get to the edge.
Oh, cool.
Beautiful.
Oh, get in there.
Wow. That's fabulous.
Okay, but now I'm going to finish this with the figs. If you really wanted to, I guess you could do the
Yeah.
one here and one here, and then this guy is out of place now.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sure, I'm gonna take pictures.
Okay. There we go. And so I guess the yin yang is gonna get broken up here once I add my pine nuts here, but you get the idea. I wanted to keep this nice and bright so the colors would really just bounce off each other.
That's special.
Ta-da! Okay, so usually what ends up happening is I usually go, oh, well, you know, I hope you enjoyed this, you know, episode 7 of the BravoPB wheel. Please hit the subscribe button, yada, yada, yada. And then the logo comes on, and then there's like that after the little ending bits. So what happens is at the end here, I usually, will sit and eat the dish and talk about, how good it is, what works, what I get out of it. But it's always me saying, that. So I'd like a volunteer to take one of these and express the flavor. So give it a couple bites.
Would you recommend that you eat the two sides separately or together?
Take a spoonful of each separate
Okay.
first, and then see what happens when you do both at the same time.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the butternut squash side.
Okay?
Wow. It's amazing.
All right.
So the butternut squash side has pine nuts floating around in it. It's very rich. And I get the toasty. And I'm going to try the fig, the dried fig in the middle. The fig is great. It's not too sweet.
Not too sweet.
Mm.
Probably
It
because
complements.
I combine it with the tangerine juice, so the tartness sort of levels that.
Really great. And you sliced it very thinly so it's not overpowering.
Good.
Okay,
Alright.
here goes the green
So
side.
that's the butternut
That
half.
was the butternut half. Here comes the green side. Oh, wow. I'm just amazed that you could make this taste like this from the ingredients you mixed in there.
What's the
Your wheel ingredients.
Yeah. Blame Judy.
It's incredible.
No salt, no oil, that's amazing.
Yeah, you can taste the avocado for sure, but
Mhm.
it's not overpowering. And they're, surprisingly, I thought it would be really heavy, and they're both very light.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's
So
some-
now, the one bite with all the components together. Some of everything.
It's excellent. Really, the diversity of flavors it's incredible.
Can I ask you just one question? Do you feel, first you tasted them separate. Now that you're tasting them together, do you feel that they suddenly each flavor got stronger? Maybe?
I think they complement each other, is what I would say. Definitely, I think when you taste them independently, they're strong in what they are, but when you mix them together, it's like the subtleness of the green. You put a lot of vegetables that are not super, like I don't taste anything bitter. And I know you used
The arugula,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
I don't really taste the bitter, but it does complement, like the natural fat of the avocado with the butternut squash and that sweetness, but the green side's not too sweet because it had a lot of vegetables that maybe there's a little salt in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you pull it all together with that sliced fig on the top and then the toastiness of the nuts. Honestly, I would have never thought to put all of these things together. of
Neither
course,
do I,
the way
you
that
know, just-
the way that you did. But it's excellent.
Okay.
And I thought I wouldn't like them together because they're so different, but they actually complement each other.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoy that. I had, can I say your name?
Susan.
Susan. So Susan here helped me out by tasting the soup and just describing, she just gave you the description of what it was. If I would just sit and think, what can I make up with a soup? I would not come up with this. It's the fact that I'm forcing myself to use certain ingredients and then just make it happen that's actually inspiring and it's really forcing the creativity. So thank you all. I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope, Susan, I hope you enjoy that.
It was amazing.
And so, hope you guys liked that. So that was episode 7 of the BravoPB Wheel. Thank you so much for watching. Please share it with all your friends and let them know all about it. All right, thank you guys.